Part 1 of 6. Be proactive. Cut your puppet strings. Unknownstorytellerss. Here, like. Comment, subscribe for more. Welcome to part 1 of our 6-part series on the 7 habits of highly effective people. This isn't the corporate version. This is the raw truth about what it takes to stop being a victim and start controlling your life. Today, Habit 1. Be proactive. By the end of this video, you'll either accept radical responsibility for your life, or you'll click away because the truth is too uncomfortable. The lie you've been living right now, you're probably living as a reactive person. You're a puppet. Life pulls the strings. You dance. Boss criticizes you. You sulk. Partner says something hurtful. You withdraw. Market crashes. You panic. You're not living. You're being lived. And you've convinced yourself this is normal. Things happen to you, and you respond. You're a victim of circumstances, genetics, bad luck, other people's choices. This is the most dangerous lie you'll ever believe. The moment you accept that external forces control your life, you've handed over your power. But effective people reject this entirely. They understand something that will either liberate you or terrify you. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a gap, a space. And in that space lives your freedom. The gap where freedom lives. It's 1944. Auschwitz. Viktor Frankl, a Jewish psychiatrist, is stripped naked. Family murdered. Life's work destroyed. Nazi guards control everything. What he eats, where he sleeps, whether he lives or dies. Everything external has been taken, but Frankl discovered something that Nazis could never touch. His power to choose his response. They controlled his body, not his mind. They could starve him, but not make him hate. Imprison him, but not imprison his spirit. Kill him, but not make him give up his dignity. In that gap between what they did and how he responded, Frankl found freedom. He later wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing. The last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. If a man in Auschwitz can choose his response, what's your excuse? Your boss was mean. Your partner doesn't appreciate you. You didn't get the promotion." If Frankl could find freedom in literal hell, you can find it in your current circumstances. No matter how bad. The language of victims V's, the language of power, want to know if you're reactive or proactive. Listen to your language. Reactive lenguaje victim speak. I have to go to work. No. You choose to because you value money more than staying home. You make me so angry. No. They did something and you chose anger. You could have chosen curiosity or indifference. I can't do that. Maybe. But probably you mean I won't. Or I'm afraid to. If only I had a better boss, more money, different parents. Then I'd be successful. You're saying your success depends on things outside your control. You've decided to be powerless. That's just the way I am. You're abdicating responsibility for your own personality. Every time you use reactive language, you reinforce your powerlessness. You're training your brain to see yourself as a victim. Proactive lenguaje. Power speak. I choose to go to work. Acknowledges your agency. When they did that, I felt angry, but I'm choosing to respond with curiosity. Recognizes the stimulus but claims ownership. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. Replaces I can with growth mindset. I will find a way to succeed within my current constraints. Refuses to blame circumstances. Your brain believes what you tell it. If you constantly say I have to and I can't, you're programming yourself for helplessness. But I choose and I will reprogram you for power. The circle of concern vs. the circle of influence. Covey gives us 2 circles. The outer circle of concern. Everything you care about. The economy, weather, politics, what people think, your past, other people's choices. The inner circle of influence. What you actually control. Your thoughts, actions, responses, choices, effort, attitude, habits. Reactive people focus on the circle of concern. They spend energy worrying about things they can't change. They complain about the government, the economy, their boss, their DNA, and what happens? Their circle of influence shrinks. because they're wasting energy on powerlessness, training themselves to be helpless. Proactive people focused on the circle of influence. They ask, what can I actually do about this? Bad economy. Can't control it. But I can control my skills, my network, my value. Focus there. Bad genetics. Can't change DNA. But I can control habits, nutrition, exercise, mindset. Focus there. Here's the magic. When you focus on your circle of influence, it expands. You're building competence, taking action, creating results, and results create confidence. This is a fundamental law. You expand what you focus on. Focus on what you can't control. Feel more powerless. Focus on what you can control. Become more powerful. The research that proves this works. Stanford and Yale studied what psychologists call locus of control. Internal locus means you believe you control your outcomes. External means you think outside forces control them. People with internal locus of control earn 20 to 30% higher incomes over their lifetimes. They have better health, lower stress-related illness, higher life satisfaction, lower depression, stronger relationships, and more career success. Meanwhile, external locus people live in perpetual They blame genetics, luck, other people, the system, because they believe they have no control. They don't take action. No action, no results. No results reinforces their belief in powerlessness. Self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe you're powerless, so you act powerless, so you become powerless. Good news! Locus of control isn't fixed. You can shift from reactive to proactive, but it requires brutal honesty and deliberate practice. The hard truth about responsibility being proactive means accepting complete responsibility for your life, not partial. Complete. Career isn't where you want it, your responsibility. You made choices that led here. Relationships unfulfilling, your responsibility. You chose these people. You contribute to the dynamic. Health is poor, your responsibility. Genetics play a role, but your daily choices play a bigger one. I can hear the objections, but I was abused, but I have a disability. But I face discrimination. I'm not saying those don't matter or aren't real. I'm saying the moment you use them as excuses for why you can't move forward, you've chosen powerlessness. Viktor Frankl was in a death camp. Oprah was born into poverty and abused. Stephen Hawking was Malala was shot in the head. Each had every excuse for every justification. Yet, each chose to be proactive. They focused on what they could control, and they achieved extraordinary things, not in spite of circumstances, but by refusing to let circumstances define their choices. You don't have to like your circumstances. You just have to decide. Am I going to focus on what I can't control and stay stuck? Or focus on what I can control and move forward? The 30-day proactive challenge for the next 30 days. 1. Eliminate reactive language. Every time you catch yourself saying, I have to, I can't, or if only, stop. Rephrase proactively. TWO. Spend 30 minutes daily focused only on your circle of influence. Write down 3 worries for each. Ask, what can I actually control? Take 1 small action on the controllable part. Ignore the rest. 3. Take responsibility for one thing. You've been blaming on others? Your weight, your debt, your job. Pick one. Admit, I created this through my choices. I can create something different through different choices. Then make one different choice today. This will be painful. Your ego will resist. It feels better to blame, safer to be a victim. But that safety is a prison. The truth about freedom being proactive doesn't mean you control everything. You don't. Life is unpredictable. Bad things happen. Being proactive means you control your response to everything, and that response determines your destiny more than circumstances ever could. You can't control if you get fired. You can control whether you use it as an excuse to give up or a catalyst to build something better. You can't control if someone betrays you. You can control whether you learn and become wiser or become bitter. This is the gap where freedom lives. This is where you reclaim your power. Once you internalize this, Once you stop looking outside yourself for problems and solutions, everything changes. You stop being a victim. You become an agent. You stop reacting to life. You start creating it. This is habit 1. Cut your puppet strings. Claim the gab. Own your responses. Expand your influence. In the next video, we'll tackle habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. The nightmare of climbing the wrong ladder and how to ensure you're building a life you actually want. But first, master this, because if you can't control your responses, you'll never control your outcomes. Are you ready to stop being a puppet? Ready to accept responsibility? Or are you going to close this video, go back to blaming, and wonder why nothing ever changes? The choice is yours. Unknownstorytellerss signing off. Like if you're choosing to be proactive, comment 1 reactive phrase. You're eliminating. Subscribe for part 2. If you're cutting your puppet strings,